Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial for my tender and precious arrangement of the worship song Oh How He Loves You and Me, written by Kurt Kaiser. In this tutorial I'm going to go over any potential trouble spots and offer some insight into my thinking as the arranger. So really in this tutorial I'm going to go over a couple potential trouble spots, but really the thrust of this tutorial is going to be going over interpretation. And the reason for that is this is such a precious song. It's so beautiful and simple, and I tried to package it in a way that would communicate that. And so I really want you as the pianist to kind of own that and capture that and try to communicate that in your performance of it. Really, this was written in 1975. It's such a beautiful worship song, and I love these worship songs, and you see them more in the older ones that are so simple. It literally is just, oh, how he loves you and me. He gave his life. What more could he give? Oh, how he loves you and me. That's basically it that really is it for the lyrics. And then they just repeat. And I just find such simplicity so profound and so comforting. You know, this song is really going to minister to you if you're in a place where you're not really wanting to engage the left side of your brain, the academic side of your brain. You just need something to comfort you and bring you some peace and acceptance and help you process things and give you that reassurance. And that's what this worship song does. And so that's how I wanted to package it. So really, what I'm going to go over, while it's going to be helpful, I think, if you're struggling with certain parts, I really want to go over the interpretation of it. And so in order to accomplish that kind of precious feel, I use two things. I use chord clusters because that kind of dissonance, that beautiful dissonance, is just sort of conveys a kind of comfort, certainly a degree of beauty. So you have like three notes right here together. That kind of harmonic richness is just so beautiful. And so I use a lot of that. And then the second thing I use are these counter melodies. So and you usually find those in the left hand in this arrangement. So I don't want you to view the left hand as just accompaniment or just filler to provide the background for what is the melody in the right hand. I want you to think of the left hand as being a duet with the right hand. So right from the very beginning, and I'm going to play this an octave higher so I don't bump the camera stand here. You have in your left hand this right in measure 2. That's really beautiful, right? It outlines a C6 chord, which is the same thing that you're playing in your right hand. And then in that third measure, you have this melodic walk up with on measure 4, a dissonant. I'll play it in the right register. That's really beautiful, right? It borrows on the Lydian mode there for that, which is often called the heavenly mode or the church mode, because it has that kind of heavenly feel, angelic. So anyway, I just got a little distracted there. Okay, I try to offer some fingering because that movement is pretty extended. So I put some fingering in there that's the easiest way for me to play it. If that fingering doesn't work for you, feel free to change it. But you're only going to be able to play your left hand melodically if you have the fingering worked out. So, even for me, I wrote this thing, and even still I have to work out the fingering, because in order to play it the way that I wanted it to be played, my fingers need to be in the right spot. I can't be hopping around and second guessing myself. So let that left hand part kind of give a suspension, a suspended, what's the word I'm looking for? A suspense to it, and then a resolution. Kind of exaggerated it there, but you get the idea. Just milk those moments. They're all over the place. So then we come in with the melody, and you get a counter melody right here at measure 7 in your left hand. That's why I put the slurs in there, because I want you to view that as a melody that you can bring to the foreground in that space and really make it beautiful. And you do that by just, if you struggle with what I'm talking about, then my suggestion is to just sing that in your head or out loud if you want to. If you were speaking that or you were singing that, it would naturally have a kind of life to it, a variation in the tempo and the dynamics ever so slightly that just gives it that life and communicates something there. So it continues. Really, if you got that on the first page, then, and you have that in your mind and you're working on that or you've mastered it, then just bring that out throughout the arrangement. You know, one of my favorite moments here is at measure 38 when we go to the C minor chord. I always want to put a little ritardando there because I love that little melodic movement. But that's another one of those instances. Yeah, I guess the only other thing I'll bring out is here at the end. It changes a little bit from what the introduction was. That's a D and an A in your right hand there, if those ledger lines get confusing. That when you land here on this downbeat, I just put a ritardando here to the end. Really, I think what I mean is like you slow down here at measure 66. When you land on the downbeat, then really what your left hand plays here is just sort of ad-libbed rhythmically. I like to bring it back up to tempo and then slow it back down. Kind of gives it a jazzy sort of ending there. But the fingering, again, it might be a weird fingering to you. It's 2 and then your 5 lands here, 1 and then your 5 again pops up. To me, that's the easiest way to play that and the smoothest and keeps my hand the most relaxed. But again, if it doesn't work like that for you, then feel free to change it. The biggest thing with fingering, really with any instruction or any rule in piano or any instrument, I learned this in college. A professor told me you have to learn the rules and follow the rules before you can break the rules. So the important thing with fingering in particular is that you're just being intentional about it. It doesn't so much matter what the fingering is, as long as it works for you and it's something that you've thought about and it's not just you're not just putting a piece of sheet music up there and playing it willy-nilly, because it will come across if your fingering isn't smooth and worked out, and if you're just hopping around and second guessing and your tempos end up being like this because you keep waiting for your left hand to find that note or whatever hand it is in the moment. So that's probably the biggest thing, and that's about it. It's a simple arrangement, and it's not too complicated. It's really beautiful song, and I hope that my setting of it did it justice, and I hope that it's a blessing both to you and those for whom you play it. And I hope that this tutorial has been helpful for you, and I will see you in the next one.